Listen. So, fear and happiness, joy and pain, like sunshine and rain. There are so many gradations of emotions, right? I mean, happiness, you can talk about being mightily pleased, being titillated, being happy, being overjoyed, being blissful, being amused, and further and further and further and further. But it really comes down to there's only two major emotions. There's two things that we need to worry about. I'm sorry, not worry about. Two things that we need to be aware of. One, happiness, and its polar opposite, fear. The opposite of happiness is not anger. Fear leads to anger. The opposite of happiness is not sadness. Fear leads to sorrow. Leads to the dark side, it does. Fear is the only thing that keeps us from being happy. And when you're happy, you have nothing to fear. You're not afraid. And what do we get afraid about? What do we get afraid over? Of? Why do we get afraid? Two things. We get afraid about the past. Things that were ideal in the past are no longer here. We want to go back to the past, or we see that we made a mistake in the past. We identify it as a mistake, and we just want to change things. Or we get so hyped up in anxiety about tomorrow or about the future. Once again, fear. Fear and happiness, joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Politics has often been about fear, but fear, oh my God, it reigns, REIGNS, today. And that's more than anything coming from the left, which is why I am so against the left right now. Because all they want you to do is feel afraid. They don't want you to say anything that might be interpreted as you being evil, racist, degenerate, what have you. My son, who's in a high school here in Philadelphia, at their high school, and I guess at all the high schools, teen vaccines have been made available. And the vaccines were made available through some sort of Black Doctor Association. I forget the exact name. A parent, I don't know the culture, ethnicity, color of the parent. So that's not identified in the email. How could it be? A parent asked, well, why? Why this group? What sort of credentials do they have? Why should we feel comfortable with this? I didn't detect anything that was critical or offensive. But somebody wrote back and said, I am tired of this passive aggression. I am tired about these veiled attacks. And it became about race, which does not exist. We are the human race. But it became about race because this person wanted it to be about race. There are so many folks, so many good people who are afraid to speak. Black and white, oh my God, especially blacks. I know so many black folks who are afraid, cautious, if you want to say cautious. This is one of the gradations, afraid to actually say that folks, BLM movement and everyone that agrees and supports and pays into them, donates to them, they've gone too far. But you say that, oh my God, you can be ostracized and condemned and ruined. Joy and pain, fear. Fear is the greatest enemy, the greatest weapon of the left. And the right's doing it too. They're talking about fear. They're talking about fear and don't be part of this group. Don't be a degenerate. Don't let these degenerates take over America. And yeah, there's a lot to be afraid of, but I do not focus on that. My focus my focus is on what you can accomplish, what you can achieve, what we can achieve, what we can be together. Forget the fear. Manage the fear is what I mean to say. Manage the fear. Land in a place called happiness. You can do it. We can do it. Eyes wide open. Working together to build a better community, a better society, a better us. Peace. 4 fingers.